Morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, I welcome to our commission. And it's an energy we intended to start at 9:30, but a good number of you also came in a bit late. And we got to spare waiter for everyone whom we have reached out so that we start as a team. And without much ado, I invited the chair of our commission.
Good morning, members of the fourth estate, and good morning to the commissioners and CS. I believe you know us now. I don't have to do introduction. Welcome to the Commission on Administrative Justice. This is our first statement. It is about maladministration and non-disclosure of information during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Commission on Administrative Justice, which is also known as the Office of the Ombudsman, is empowered under the Constitution and other statutes to inquire into and investigate conduct in state affairs of any commission or in any public administration that is alleged or suspected to be prejudicial or improper. It is also empowered by law to provide oversight and enforce the right for citizens to access information held by the state under the Access to Information Act, which was passed in the year 2016. The Commission's attention has been drawn to recent developments touching on public administration, especially in regard to citizens being unable to access crucial information relating to the COVID-19 pandemic. This is coupled with the slowing down and inefficient delivery of public services. The Commission has also noted with concern recent media reports where some public officers have been quoted declaring that they will not make disclosures on expenditure of COVID-19 funds. This is a blatant breach of the trust placed in the authority granted to public officers, and such conduct erodes public confidence in the integrity of the public office. It should be reiterated that the Commission takes seriously cases of public officers disobeying their legal obligations and works closely with other relevant agencies to enforce legal administrative action to remedy such violations. It is important for all public agencies that have been allocated funds to expend on the mitigation and recovery measures against the COVID-19 to make proactive disclosures on the amounts allocated and the expenditures thereof. This is in line with the constitutional physical requirements of prudence, transparency, and accountability in public finance. The disclosure requirement is also legally underpinned in the Access to Information Act and other relevant laws that regulate the use of public funds. The duty of disclosure is therefore paramount unless where it is expressly exempted by law. To strengthen the proactive disclosure of information in the public service, the Commission in the year 2019 issued a circular that gave guidelines on how public entities can easily make available information that citizens require. Although we have witnessed improved information disclosure, we are concerned with the creeping tendency by some agencies to operate in an opaque manner during this time of the pandemic. For avoidance of doubt, no provision of the Access to Information Act has been suspended because there is a pandemic. Nonetheless, even during this unprecedented public health crisis, caution should not be thrown to the wind by providing information that may endanger the safety, health, or life of any person or impede the due process of the law. As a minimum, either on their websites or on any other suitable mediums, all public institutions, including county governments, are hereby directed by the Commission without prompting to provide the following information on its utilization of public funds allocated for COVID-19 intervention. 1, the amount of money received either from government, allocations, loans, grants, or in any other form. 2, the expenditure of such money. 3, all contracts specifying the contractual sum and contract period entered into for the purchase of goods and services in respect of COVID-19. And lastly, the names of the service providers, the contractors that have been awarded the tenders, or individuals to whom the contracts have been awarded. That is information that must, as of necessity and as per the law, be provided by the public institutions. Further, the Ministry of Health and county governments must provide timely information to the public on the number of quarantine, isolation, and treatment facilities that are available and accessible to the public, their capacity, their location, the protocols and rules to be followed in admission, periodic occupancy and the percentage thereof, and any other incidental information as well as will be deemed necessary. Reports of patients seeking medical services, and this has been reported to the Office of the Ombudsman, only to be turned away from several facilities, and some eventually dying at breaking and unethical owing to the Hippocratic oath that medical practitioners ascribe to. Furthermore, any public entity that is holding information on the pandemic should ensure that its records and archives are captured and managed in a way that will enable their preservation and access now and in the future. Proper records management is critical and necessary for posterity. We also remind all state and public officers that it is an offense under the Access to Information Act for accounting officers in public institutions to fail to respond to requests for information within the prescribed time. This is punishable upon conviction with a fine not exceeding Kenya shillings 50,000 or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not lost on the Commission that the pandemic has adversely affected the education sector. The right to education is a socio-economic right provided for in the Constitution, and the fact that there is a prevalent pandemic should not frustrate the enjoyment of this right. In managing the COVID-19 crisis, the Ministry of Education, being a critical service provider, must provide cogent direction and leadership that is expected from such a public office. The ministry should therefore refrain from making contradictory and incoherent pronouncements on the resumption of learning so as to avoid heightening anxiety among learners, teachers, and parents. There has also been talk of community teaching keep learners going, but details on its execution have not been clearly articulated. It must further be noted that many learners are disadvantaged where online instruction has been implemented. The same can be said of learners with special needs. Any intervention being implemented must not leave any student behind. Consequently, the Ministry of Education, in consultation with other stakeholders, should put in place the necessary strategies and infrastructure that would facilitate resumption of learning in our institutions as is practicable in full compliance with the existing public health protocols. Our schools urgently require investment to expand existing facilities and teachers to meaningfully resume learning under the extraordinary times we find ourselves in. And any failure by the Ministry of Education to provide leadership and guidance is going to be taken seriously by this commission, and we are going to investigate and recommend where necessary what action should be taken. The Commission notes that the pandemic has negatively impacted on public service delivery. Many government agencies have had to scale down certain services with high in-person interaction, and some agencies have had to temporarily suspend operations due to COVID-19, that cases have been prevalent in their offices. We commend those who have adopted mechanisms of availing their services online. However, there are concerns that some agencies have been quick to cite the pandemic to slow or suspend services. We reiterate that whereas there may be challenges due to COVID-19, utmost effort should be made towards continued provision of public services by public officers, because it doesn't matter what situation we are in, the public are entitled to public service. Thank you very much. That is our statement.
Yeah. All right. We are going to take questions directed to the chair or the commissioners. So, let's go to go first. Any question, any clarification you may want to seek? Asking from the statement. Yes.
I'm Samantha Roby from KBC. Some of these agencies that you want to disclose their records, what are some of these agencies? And then on public performance, earlier on we had seen a petition that there's an order that had been given by the president of about 20 commissions not accepted. And then there's a petition that was filed in the High Court and it was suspended. And later on, the office of the AG and the Public Service Commission opposed the petition. How has this affected public service? And also the Commission on Administrative Justice.
Audience, any question? All right.
Thank you, Madam. You've asked about the institutions that would like to disclose information. Yeah, thank you. The institutions that we are seeking to have information disclosed, we issued our guidelines, which we are going to provide in the year 2019, on the information that must, as of necessity, under the law, be disclosed. We have in mind the procurement agencies. We know that the Ministry of Health has been doing a lot of procurement through its agencies, and these are the agencies we are saying must be able to tell us how they are conducting their affairs, because we don't believe that any provision of the law has been suspended. We also know county governments have been doing a lot of procurement, and they're conducting their affairs without offering this information that citizens are seeking for. So those are some of the institutions that we are saying, as a necessity, as the law, they must provide that information. On the issue of the petition that you've spoken to, I believe each and every institution is affected in a way, but that does not mean that we have curtailed our operations. You can see that we are still working, and any member of the public who wants to reach the office of the Ombudsman, they are able to reach us either through online or through our branch offices and any other way that they will bring their complaints to us. So I don't think there's any effect on the operations. We are doing that which we must do as a commission.
Of the Commission on Administrative Justice, given that they were put under certain ministries and departments?
I know there is a case in court. I think that was filed by the Law Society of Kenya, and orders were granted that stayed was issued. So as at now, I think the best way forward is for us to await what the court is going to say about it. But we also know that the Constitution that establishes the Chapter 15 institutions gives them independence to do that which they must do, promote constitutionalism, ensure that human rights is observed, administrative justice is interfered with the manner in which we offer our services.
Looks like we may not have more questions. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to cover this function. So we come to the end. Appreciate it so much. Your own pleasure. Commissioner. I'll share the statement on email. Is that okay? I hope all of you registered. I'll just forward the statement that you just read. Your emails, any further questions, you can always reach us. In that email, you'll have